Welcome to Speaking in Spoons with your host, Christina Brookman.
Got it.
Hi. Start over. Hi, I'm Christina Brookman, your host with Speaking in Spoons, with the lovely Nate, or I'm going to say handsome Nate today. And today we have JC here to tell us his personal story with a benign brain tumor. Hi, JC. We're so excited to have you today. It has been years since JC and I have talked, so we were just having some fun before the recording started.
Nostalgia.
Nostalgia. Um, but yeah, why don't you tell our followers a little bit about yourself? I won't give too much away. And
Well,
yeah.
don't need those stalkers. Well, my name is JC. I've known this lovely lady. Sorry, Nate, not you, Christina, and for years, since college. So good times had by all. On the flip flop, have a benign brain tumor. That's always fun. I will say this though, what they were able to take out, because they could only take out about 80%. That leaves a lot of room for spare change in there though, so it's like an extra pocket. It's cool.
Your brain is an extra pocket. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That is convenient.
Positive side, kids. You gotta stay positive. Come on.
Always. It's exciting.
But
Where is the tumor located?
if you can see, there's a scar here. I can't look
Oh,
at
wow.
it.
Yeah.
There, maybe somewhere.
Oh, wow.
Long story short, it's there.
Okay. How did you start how did you like, what were the symptoms like?
Oh, well, that's a fun story.
Yeah.
Initially, I was doing this thing where we thought it was sleep apnea because I was
Yeah.
like waking up and like just not breathing. Like it wasn't like I was gasping for air, but I just couldn't take air in.
Uh-huh.
So I would end up, trying to go to the bathroom and get a drink of water just so that I could like try to get maybe I'm dry. Who knows? So I try to do that. It helps a little bit for a while. Go to the doctor. They think maybe sleep apnea. So they're like, okay, we'll try, doing this position in bed and sleep like this. And I tried and didn't do anything because it wasn't sleep apnea. Um,
Yeah.
the fun night was whenever I woke up, probably, I want to say around like 2 a.m. ish. I don't know. Anyway, long story short, head to the bathroom per usual to try to get a drink of water and whoa, face
Oh,
first into the floor, out. Next thing I know, ambulance. What the hell's going on? Out. Next thing I know, I got this doctor putting flashlight in my eye. Out. And then I'm more cognizant and I have a doctor talking to me and saying, hey, we did some scans on you. And so here's the deal. You got a brain tumor. So today's a
oh,
Monday. We'll pop that bad boy out on a Wednesday, I guess, and we'll get you out on Friday. I'm like, that's
seriously?
yes, yes,
You had to wait 2 days when they told you had a brain tumor?
yeah. Well, I guess they had to like prep stuff or do more tests or whatever, but
Yeah.
that was like the initial like emergency room.
Yeah.
But it was all
So,
benign, so they didn't feel like it was an emergency.
oh, I have no idea,
Oh, you.
what the decision was, like why they waited, but I mean, I figure getting things in order, like knowing my actual health history, that kind
Yeah.
of thing beforehand.
Yeah. Plus, it
If
gives
this
you.
was emergency room, it wasn't like I went in for a like a consult or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Right.
yeah, fun times. But they were able to take out, I want to say 80%, but there's still a good amount in there. Let's say
Did
five,
it
20%, I guess.
Is
So
it one of those, because I've heard some can continue to grow and you keep having to go back in to have like it removed? Is it that way, or is that 80% always out and gone?
Well, that 80% itself is probably incinerated somewhere at this point. But I could, they always say I could grow back or
Right.
whatnot. So I go in every quarter and get a CT, get in the tube, hang out for an hour. That's pretty cool. Sounds like a dishwasher on acid inside that bad boy. I
did you
don't like them. Yeah.
MRA is much, or MRI is much smoother than the CT.
Yes.
Yeah.
still horrible? Yeah.
But so yeah, I do that quarterly just to like get a checkup, make sure everything's not growing, as it were.
Yeah. How does that affect you now? Like, do you still have symptoms, or?
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but as far as like medication stuff, like I have to take stuff for seizure medication now. Um, and like different like emotional medications and stuff to deal with it, and just a bunch of like awesome. I probably eat about 20 pounds worth of pills every day.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep the weight off though. I blame
You're
Chris.
looking good.
Get
Yeah.
too many because you'll start putting on weight.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah, you want to keep your summer bod
I gotta start taking water pills now, I guess too. Shit.
pills.
Wait, then you get the water weight. No. No, I've got, JC, you like this. I have a granny pack for my meds. That's what I call it.
Well,
Helps me keep organized.
Oh, I don't know why it's been blurred out, but
It's
has a
not human. Zoom doesn't like it. Yeah.
oh, dang. All right. Sorry, Zoom, Your Highness.
I know, right?
Ah.
Um, so you did you go through a disability process through this or anything like that? Are you working?
Well, fun story about that. So
oh
I'm
yeah.
on long-term disability from my employer. I've been turned down for SSI multiple times. And I don't know why, but
Sure.
because it's all up to whoever sees your case that day.
Yes.
And so I don't qualify. And what that means is I don't get a lot of like assistance stuff,
Yeah.
which I don't know how they changed this because at some point I did get some, but now I don't qualify. I'm like, my income hasn't changed, right? So,
Oh,
but
that's what's wow.
yeah. So I still have, a nice investment in medical bills. That's pretty cool.
Right. I like how you put that, in investment in medical bills.
Yeah, well, it's not like they're getting all paid at once. So
Right.
Hold on,
Yeah.
pay off eventually. You just hold on to them. It's like a stock.
exactly. It's like student loan debt. Like that's the good debt you want to have.
Yeah, you want
Interest
that
free
has done something.
hospital bill.
$1 a day keeps, or $1 a day keeps the uh
Panhandlers
plain
away.
people away. There
Okay.
you go.
Yeah,
My
you
brain froze on that.
get turned over from the insurance people to with the people that come for your furniture and your car and stuff like
Yes,
the
the repo man.
repo. Yeah, that's
Yes. But when you don't have anything, what do they take?
I don't know, your dignity, I guess.
I was gonna say self-respect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I got this on my neck they can take a look at and get rid of. They can take that.
they'll take it. They'll turn it.
They'll eat it probably. They're just grubby people.
Yeah. No one in particular. We're not saying any particular repo, just in general. We're not identifying anyone.
Yes. We're
Thank
not
you
putting
for
this
that.
on abcrepo.com.
But yeah, I mean, like, wow, I can't believe you've been denied multiple. I mean, I can, because anybody, like, we're considered young, which makes me laugh because I'm like, I'm not young. Like,
Yes, you are.
we're
You're
middle aged.
perpetually 23 years old. That's it.
That is
Just
true.
wait. I'll be older. You just wait.
but like in that world of like disability, like we're young, right? And if you're young and you've worked in the past, then like you're automatically denied the first time. Like, and most
Mhm.
people are automatically denied the first time. So then you have to go back and do your uh
You got to
I'm
go
like
through the
about to
whole
say
process
re-applic
again,
the
and
whole
yeah,
process,
it's
but and get a
basically like, hey,
lawyer.
do
Yeah,
you qualify? Are you still screwed up enough, or are you
yeah,
BSing us? That's
yeah,
basically what it comes down to. Are you trying to scam us?
yeah. And the thing is, like, that's what people like talk about people taking advantage of the system and all this stuff. And I'm like, they have no idea how hard it is to get disability. Like,
Hmm.
when you're on disability, you are not scamming the system. Like, it is
No.
so hard to qualify.
Well,
And a lot of it, I think, is misunderstanding of disorders or lack of knowledge of disorders from the people that are reading our paperwork too. And because like there is a list of things that will automatically qualify you. um but even if you're the wrong age and have been working, like Nate has found out, you get denied. So it's like,
mhm.
Well,
yeah,
I am scamming the system. I went out, I got this chronic illness, it debilitated me immensely. It's all gonna, it's, I'm gonna keep applying. They're gonna fall for it eventually.
At some point.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I'm really trying here. I've stopped driving. I really don't work that much.
Hey, me
It's
too.
hard, it's hard to figure out what I need to do to really scam these people. It's just, what do I need to give up? You
Um, I guess you would probably have to give up, single life, have about 5, 6 kids, then you qualify
and
because
you
I know
qualify. Yeah,
if I had
exactly
kids,
like it's the family thing that qualifies you more. Like I know, like my family, we didn't grow up super rich.
yeah,
So like we qualified for stuff like that. And now it's like on the flip side, whenever you're the adult doing it, it's like, damn, this shit was a lot easier 20 years ago, I guess,
mm,
because I don't qualify now. What's amazing is there was something I don't qualify for, government assistance by I make $4 too much a month.
wow.
Yeah. And I mean, I understand it. The lady who was on the phone with me said, like, yeah, I had to turn somebody down the other day because they made 10 cents too much. And I'm like, that might be true. That might not. You might just want me off the phone. But either way, it's a good story. So I left.
That was
Um,
nice of her to share.
mhm.
Um, yeah, I was very fortunate that I got a lawyer who saw something in my case and really wanted to help me. Like I really lucked out, and she's phenomenal. I got referred to her through DARS actually.
Mm.
The Department for Aging and Rehabilitative Services. Every state has one, and they help people um who are disabled get employment and accommodations. And I had kept trying to go to them, and they kept closing my case saying you're too disabled. And
Was that me?
my caseworker at the time was like, you need to go to this woman. And I found out where she was now, and she helped me. And I she doesn't take cases anymore, but she gives advice. Like, she'll do consultations with people. So everybody that I hear is looking for help, I send to her. um uh Elizabeth Horn, Disability Law Center, Virginia. She's amazing. My cousin who was in, oh my god, we got a Muppet.
Ah!
But so how,
okay.
okay, I would like to state that JC was like this before the brain tumor.
And those of you listening, he's holding up a Muppet, like an actual.
Yes,
Oh, this is Damel. Oh, I thought this was a video, man.
it's both.
It's
We
video
we
Whoa.
for
we do
listen.
all, and I forget that sometimes. So thank you, Nate. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've got a Muppet, and he
Yes,
also,
we got a
well,
loose
Kermit.
Muppet. We can't name them because, copyright infringement. Uh,
Really?
I thought you just
no,
said
we totally can.
Okay, I was like, no, they're in the show. And we've got Kermit, who is
already
also
named the Muppet.
technically a Muppet. Um,
Oh,
he's like the
technically,
star of the Muppet.
I was gonna say.
You're
Oh,
I
be
don't know.
gonna
I
give
mean, he's the host, but Piggy's really the star. Come on.
No, it's Kermit.
Actually, Gonzo is the son.
Primo.
But
I'm a
how
Gonzo.
how is your daily life affected, like now, like as you go through your day, what kind of things are different for you now that you're living with a tumor versus
Well,
before?
I didn't have to take 13 pills in the morning and 9 at night. Let's start with that. Not that I did, but I was legally allowed to drive. Now I can't. So that kind of puts a damper on any type of, employment that would be anywhere further than a train stop or, a bus stop.
Yeah.
That's kind of a pain. Also, having seizures now, which I never did before, kind of took out a lot of stuff that I did physically. Like I used to love stilt walking. Like I did it professionally for a couple of years on a cruise ship as a cruise comic. It was one of our jobs. And
Oh,
so,
I didn't know that. That's
oh
so
yeah,
cool.
Be kind
Yeah.
of now with the seizures.
But
So
yeah,
yeah. So like I had a pair of stilts at home, and then I ended up having to sell them just because I couldn't use them. So
mm,
yeah, it's a bummer like that. Like selling
giving
your
up things you
car.
love. Yeah.
Yeah, like I didn't, drive my car, but it was under my name at
He is
least.
mouthing something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was mouthing
All
something.
the three, like the Nate and Lexi and I, we can't drive anymore either. So
it's not safe. Like
Or
I don't.
legally.
I could drive. Yeah, I have a license. I could drive. I could get in my car and drive, kill a bunch of people. Totally legal. I just choose not to.
Uh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
ain't
because
that
with
America? Wow.
seizures, they I think
You're
guard
welcome.
that more. Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
that's a lot of it's your own personal call too, though.
Yeah.
As far as like, hey, we're not saying you can't drive, but you really shouldn't because
You really
kill
should.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
don't for me to. So I'm.
every bottle that I have a pill in says something along the lines of like, don't handle heavy machinery.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I mean, I
yeah.
can barely handle a blender, let alone a car right now. So
Do the medications make you drowsy? Is that
um, some of them do, but like not until like the nighttime ones. So it's all right. But
Yeah.
the daytime ones don't exactly perk you up. It's more of just like here's a good baseline. Let's wake up with this and see what happens. So it's not bad.
the 13 medicate? That's like so many medications. Are they to kind of counterbalance each other, or like are they for specific? Because
Well,
like one's for cancer, and then like the next 12, I'm not sure about.
there's ones for seizures, ones for
Right.
well, 3 of them are for seizures. Uh, 3
Okay.
of them or 4 of them are like mental stability things. I don't. Ooh, what else do we have on tap today? Uh, huh, Usual vitamin. I like to take a multivitamin. That's good for you kids. Do that.
Oh, one of them is just a multi you're taking. Okay. I guess that
Well,
counts.
I guess that makes 14 then.
Oh, okay. You weren't thinking about the multi,
I
which
wasn't thinking about the multi. No.
I think is important. I think you need the multi, but I mean the rest of them, you're probably fine without it.
Yeah, probably. A lot of it's just psychosomatic. Oh,
Yeah.
you think you have a brain tumor? It's not a real brain
Oh.
tumor, so that's in your head.
Mhm.
Oh,
What it is in your
But
head? You're so funny. Uh,
that is. I mean, do you notice if you like everybody's human, like if you ever mess up and miss a day, do you feel it the next day or
oh
instantly?
yeah, oh yeah. I'm feeling it right now, and I took my meds. Hell, um,
Well, that get there.
no, I did take my meds. I'm fine today, but yeah, I definitely notice, especially like if I miss a day, like a night and a day. Like if I forgot my pills somewhere or whatever, which I usually don't. I have a case roughly half the size of Miss Brookman's, but that still handles about 20,000 pills. So I'm covered. But yeah, that's just another thing you have to learn to live with is carrying around a buttload of pills
yeah.
all
Yeah,
the time.
I've always hated the pill popping. It's so
I
exhausting.
mean,
Every week you have to fill it up. It's like,
yeah, that's why I just grind them all into one big pile and just snort it.
yeah, yeah. That would be the
It's
optimal.
a lot easier, really.
You just
Sounds
hardline.
like it, except for the grinding process. I think
Well,
that
that's
would be a
what
lot of work.
you think.
You
I
do
mean,
it with-
Yeah, just a
I've
little
got a
bit.
grinder for coffee beans. I use that.
Oh, you
Okay.
grinder. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Okay. And then you just do a long. It's good
You
for
just
the.
do blow of Concerta, just doing a couple key bumps of Abilify, ladies. Anybody want to join me in the back room for some Lexapro?
Yeah.
Speaking and Spoons does not recommend the snorting of your medications.
I don't disagree with that.
No.
Sometimes it's easier for people. That's all I'm saying. Like if you don't have a mouth and you have to take medication.
If you find it
Well-
easy to hardline your meds in the back room,
Then you know you're from Pittsburgh.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Now that's more of a Florida thing, I guess. But
Oh, please say yin. He
Wow.
said it earlier, and I was like, I keep
Saying
trying to
anything-
tell yin to Southern people, and they're like, no, it's y'all. And
No, y'all.
and then
oh
down
my
here,
God, y'all. Yin's
Yeah,
guys
it's
gotta be
y'all.
calling y'all. No, Yin's guys gotta be going down a store. It's going down Permanis, right? You're going down Permanis, you're gonna get cap, egg, and cheese. You're gonna ask for egg on that. So that's the way it goes. Y'all, you know what I'm saying?
I do know what you'll do.
All right.
so back to the brain tumor.
Back to the brain. That might have been like a symptom of. So
Oh goodness. No, you were like this before. Maybe a little bit
it's
more
been a
energy.
long time that I've had this. Okay.
Yeah. Really? How long do they think you've had this?
Oh, no idea. No idea. I was just contemplating
Wow.
the idea that I've had it since I've known you. So that's a concept.
Oh,
It could have
that is a
happened.
concept. It could have happened.
Could be possible.
What how has this affected relationships with your family, with like dating? How is that has it
Well, with my
affected it all?
family, I'll say this. I'm super fortunate. Like I've got one of the best families. I just saw them yesterday. I talk to my mom every day like a good boy. But yeah, my family, we're pretty tight. So as far as like having a support team, that was covered. A lot of friends that were able to like come out and like just at least make an appearance in the hospital and just be like, hey, that was great. To
Yeah.
see these people. A friend of mine who lives in Hawaii now actually sent me, and I've got a video somewhere, but Wacky Jack's telegrams. She sent me a singing telegram.
Oh, that's
Wow.
awesome.
I know. It was old
There's-
school.
That's cool.
Go ahead.
That
Go ahead.
support is really important. Has it affected your social life, your dating life at all?
Oh, totally. Totally. Well, for one, just look at this face. How are you going to say no? It's easy whenever you don't have the money. Because I don't drive. So like going to places obviously makes things a bit more difficult, especially like in my type of line of work that I like to do, hardcore, comedy. And so
I really thought you were going to say something else. Okay.
I bet you did, but for the people that aren't watching, that can only listen, I did make a wiener joke there. So obviously you can't see that, but you can imagine it, and you're welcome.
I think they saw it in the pause.
In
There
the
was some-
ooh,
Listening.
Yeah.
in my bear claws pause. That goes into a whole other element of life. But anyway, so we were talking about issues with a brain tumor and what it does to you as far as screwing up your social and other relationships.
Yeah.
As far as like romantic relationships, it does play a major issue, simply for the fact that not everybody has one and not everybody knows how to deal with it immediately or want to at all.
A
And
relationship or a tumor?
yeah, I mean,
Okay.
In a relationship, yeah.
yeah.
Both.
So it's something that you kind of have to go through and like explain a lot, which, do you want to open that up every time? No, but you know what? It makes it easier every time. Like if you keep talking about it. I've been talking about it for 11 years at this point. I'm kind of like, I don't want to say old hat, air quotes, for those listeners out there. But yeah, I'm by no means an expert, but I have learned to sail those seas a little bit easier.
Yeah.
He struggled for a metaphor.
Um,
No, we all get that. Like the balance between sharing and like how much do you share, when do you share, like all of that stuff.
Exactly. That's a
how
good
long
point.
do you
Yeah.
wait there?
Yeah. Is it
Yeah.
like,
It's
you
not
go on a date and then, you wait 3 days and then you call them back and you're like, so how about that second date? By the way, brain tumor, click.
right. It's not
Message.
first date topic though, I find.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So what are you into? I really
So,
like CAT scans.
chronic illness, dealing with it today. What about you?
Yeah.
You want to crawl into a CAT scan for an hour, baby?
That's
Is
the
that
most
not?
intimate situation you'll ever have.
That is
Seriously.
intimate. Those things can get snuggled. They can get super close. Get
It,
I mean,
it's uh it's a bit snug. I'll say
first
Two
that
for
sometimes.
one.
get an
Yeah.
eye on the first date just to
Mhm.
get on top of each other. I feel like that'd be a fun thing to do.
That
That's
reminds me
true
of like the
love.
scene out of
Let's
like the
do it.
last scene of Fifth Element when Bruce Willis and Mila Jovovich are like in the tube together getting repaired. Air quotes again, kids. They were doing it. But anyway, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Fifth Element.
You haven't seen Fifth Element by now. It's on you.
Yeah, seriously, that's one of the best movies and one of the best riff tracks out there.
Mm.
If you're a riff tracks fan and you know what the hell I'm talking about. If you don't, it's the same guys that did Mystery Science Theater 3000.
If you don't know that, then we're just done.
Yeah, we're kind
Um,
of done with you.
Ruined it for
but
someone.
so what are you up to now? Share with them about some of the things you've been doing since you can't do stilt walking.
Well, something that I was doing for quite a while was I was doing like some stand up, not like professionally or anything, but going to mics and like different like house groups and shit. And that was cool. That was very cool. But it seems like whenever I end up um, becoming involved with somebody, like I kind of like put like my regular life in the background, and I like that was something I had to learn to like kind of not do. And I think a lot of that had to do with like having a brain tumor and being like, okay, I'm going to take the best of what's available right now because I don't know what's going to come around next. So it's like
Yeah.
I'm going to take precedent over this relationship versus the rest of my life, which I'm putting on hold right now. And then you kind of forget to like jump back into that life. And, then it becomes you have to put feelers back out. So
Yeah.
that's something I learned over the years is just take the time for yourself. Like, it's like being on an airplane. Adults, put your mask on first before you help the kids, if at all.
Oh, you poor kid.
But
Yeah, no, you have to take care of yourself
yeah,
and not
self-love,
give up your
self-care.
dreams. Yeah.
Right. No, yourself is first, especially when you have something like this. I think you need to not
Yeah,
be helping
Yeah.
others and need to put the mask on first.
Well, I mean, we help each other as a community through like, like
for
talking
something
and
like
sharing
this,
and
in
things
fact,
like
yeah.
this. But like, but yeah, like when it comes to we talked about this with Shaga actually in one of the episode on acceptance and change about how and I was telling him how like I come to the realization the only person that is with you your entire life from like birth to death is you. And like and especially when you have like a chronic condition like we all do, like you have to be your biggest supporter. Um
Mm.
and yeah.
I think a big problem with being your own supporter is lack of faith in yourself. And that's
Exactly.
something like you kind of have to go through the hardships to learn to build up that callus to like,
Yeah.
I can push through this crap. It's not easy, but last time it was harder and it's not as hard this time.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's been a number of times over the years where like I'll be down, because I end up having like big mood shifts anymore, and I haven't, previously. So I'm thinking it's obviously a side effect of the tumor. but it's just getting that, I don't know, I'm trying to think of the best way to say it, but just getting that urge to not want to die, basically, and like actually get out and see people as a better, consolation.
Sort of.
You have to work into that sometimes. Like I
Yeah.
bought
Yeah.
tickets for events and they went to waste because I just couldn't get out of bed, But then I find something stupid that I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll do this, maybe I won't. And then it'll be the thing that like changes my day completely and makes me want to keep going.
Yeah.
And what that is taking the dog for a walk or like hitting up an art gallery or something like that. Which luckily I can get to by the T. Which, if you don't know what the hell that means, people, yin's got to get your shit straight. The T is public transportation, probably like a subway almost in Pittsburgh.
It's pretty cool. Pittsburgh has really great public transportation. I miss it.
Wow.
We just do not have good public transportation in Richmond. So, yeah.
At
So
least,
true.
can you drive? Are you a
No,
driver?
I
Then
cannot
that's
drive
something
right
else.
now.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, they really need to
None
get
of the
hey,
none of us
Uber.
can drive. Yeah.
Uber, you need to start partnering up with the government.
It's so
Discount.
expensive. That's
Like,
it adds up.
if
So
there could be some sort of government subsidy, if you're listening, government, just to
Yeah.
help out people that don't have transportation or are legally allowed to own transportation.
wouldn't that be incredible? Well, I do with my current insurance. They now give you like a stipend card quarterly that you can use on like healthy food. Like specifically I cannot buy chips. But like healthy food. I was like, don't judge me and my chips when I need it for emotions.
Yeah, for real.
Um, but
Oh, sorry, some chips only, lady.
just don't say anything, Nate. He's a nutritionist. But like
Chips have nutrition, sort of.
is it protein a vegetable? There's oil. Oil
Oh,
is
it's
good for
There's
you.
starch.
like a
You need your
potatoes.
daily intake of starch.
There you go.
Yeah,
And the oil is makes your skin healthy and glossy. And it's good for your hair. There you go.
I don't know.
But
True.
it also
Organic.
can be used for transportation like Uber and Lyft, like to go to medical appointments and like,
What insurance
social
is this? Are
things
you allowed
and
to
stuff.
tell it, or do you not want to say
Yeah,
because they like haven't, promoted the show yet?
I I have Medicare and Medicaid, and I switched to Aetna Medicaid because of what it was offering, and then they switched me to a dual enroll. Like that's a new thing that's happening is a dual enrollment. So I get
I'll have to look
Aetna
into
for
that
my
then.
Medicare and my Medicaid. And it's Aetna Better Health. So it's a newer thing that's happening. I did try to buy my groceries though with the card, and everything on it was healthy, and it didn't go through, and it charged to my regular card.
How
So
the hell
I've
do
got
they
to
justify like
figure out the
what
kinks.
exactly? Like, do they have a list of
Yeah.
what's not allowed?
I don't know, maybe it's because it was Amazon, but because
Okay.
I'm on EBT and like I can't drive right now, Amazon has been how I've been getting
Well,
my
because they
food.
have what Whole Foods on Prime, right?
Yeah. And they also
So
have Amazon Fresh,
yeah,
which
but I would
sounds
think,
very healthy.
well, do you have? I know Aldi takes EBT as well because that's what
They
I do.
do. So I'm gonna have to start looking at other options. Yeah, we'll
They
see.
deliver as well usually. Like that's how I get
Really?
myself. Yeah,
I wonder if they do that here. I will check.
yeah. Check
We've
because I know you probably don't have Giant Eagle there, but they do as
no
well. But
Giant
yeah,
Eagle.
Jiggle Wiggle.
Yeah.
Yins Jack's going down to Jiggle Wiggle. You going down? Oh my God.
Thunder or not.
Yins Jack's. There's gonna be a big old concert. Guess who? Donnie Iris. And if you don't know who
But
Donnie Iris is, check
this
him
is the
out.
thing people don't talk about. Like, like just getting food and how complicated it
It
is.
really can be a
It
pain in the wang. Yes.
yeah. Um and like and like you said, Nate, medicine's causing you weight gain,
Mm-hmm.
and also like just the food that you can afford to buy because of the amount of money you have, and like for me, my ability to make it. So I'm like, well, I will have a can of cold soup because it's with a pop lid because it's easy to,
Open.
you know, open if I'm by myself or something. Like right now, I have a roommate who is spoiling me, who's like an incredible cook, and I don't know what I'm gonna do when I move out someday because, like, he's just an incredible cook. And then I have a caretaker now who helps me. She's been gone for a while though because she had her own medical issue. But yeah, it's
Is that a
things we
lot?
don't think about. Yeah. If you could give any advice to anybody going through a diet, like just getting this diagnosis and going through that, and also like what you talked about, those periods where you just don't want to get up, you don't want to, what advice could you give them?
First off, take a vitamin. Honestly, I think it's the most innocuous, silly little bit of advice, but for real, like, especially for people like me who I don't get out of the house as much because I don't have transportation and the weather kind of sucks right now. So walking's kind of not happening. So, it's important to take your vitamins, get that vitamin D, get some sunlight if you can. They tell me exercise is good. I'm gonna have to look into that. In about 40 years. So the big thing I could say is like don't give up on yourself, and don't feel like you don't have someone to talk to because there are resources out there. You can go on BetterHelp, you can go online. There's a line, in fact, like if you're having like dark thoughts, you can call 1-800 ape talk is how I figured out it spells, but it's actually the suicide hotline. It's like
Is it really ape
well, it spells out something real talk, but I like saying
Okay.
ape talk because it works that way too. I did a whole stand-up bit for it for I called my segment 1-800 ape talk because it was a human health, mental health organization benefit that I did. So got a whole segment of mental health humor raring to go. Mm-hmm.
An untapped
Well,
niche.
humor is medicine.
That's
So
true. That's what I'm saying. That and like how just to get paid for it. But oh my god, what a crap laugh that was of me. I sounded like Muttley from goddamn Wacky Races. Jesus.
what advice would you give to doctors after like the 11 experiences or 11 years, the 11 years that you have been dealing with this?
Okay. I would say the best advice I could give doctors is communicate with each other better. Because whenever you have a condition like mine or many other people's, um, they don't always communicate with each other as quickly or efficiently as possible. So you might be getting one recommendation from one doctor and getting something that's not in agreement with that from somebody else. So just make sure that you're talking to your peers, doctors. I appreciate it. You're doing a good job. We can always do a better job. That's for everybody, except for me. I'm awesome.
Nate, do you have any questions?
Nate,
I,
ask me how
I
awesome I am.
agree. He's
I
awesome.
need it for my. I
Can't do
need this. Tell me I'm pretty.
Oh my God, you're so pretty, JC. We're gonna mail you pizza boxes.
Oh, that's going in my
For
dream
those
journal.
for those of you that well, anyone from Point Park, I'm sure will remember JC collected pizza boxes and built castles in his bedroom back in the day and
Hey,
terrorized freshmen to clean the room.
I must have missed it.
Oh
hey,
yeah.
guys, incentivized. I bought them liquor. I'm kidding. Vodka's not liquor, right? Is it?
You gave liquor to minors. You're saying this. Hey,
Well, when I say miners, I'm talking about people that work with the coal industry.
okay. Yeah, those minors.
Oh God. Um, hey,
Yes. We're going to
okay.
get into
Any
fracking conversations.
questions?
I don't have time for that. Come
I mean,
Nate,
on. Nate,
what?
Nate, do you have any questions, Nate?
Questions about like where can we find your comedy? Like where can people go to find you doing stand up? Because I would personally like to.
I will have to toss up a link to something that exists eventually. Um,
We're gonna put it
Yeah.
on the website.
yeah, because what I want to do is transfer a few things to another account, just so I can. I wanted to edit down videos that I've done down to smaller portions where it's just me, because I've got like there's a couple.
He froze.
This is a bit. Just wait. Now you might actually be frozen.
Nate was like, it's a
Okay, are we
bit.
frozen now? We're not frozen.
You're not frozen anymore. Woo, you're there. Yay. No, don't do that. I think he's faking it.
Okay,
Yeah, that was a
I'm
fake.
totally faking it. I never fake it. Come on.
But we will put JC will send me his links or when he has it edited.
When JC
And
does something original, we will get that out to you people.
yes, we will put it on your bio on our website, and then everybody can enjoy more of your zaniness.
True. And if you want to check out some of my writing,
Oh
if you
yes.
you go to Fanbase Comics, or Fanbase Press, gosh, I'm going old school.
Yes,
When they
they
were
changed their
originally like
name.
Fanboy Comics. Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
God, I'm ancient. Anyway, long story short, I do articles for them as well, like reviews and whatnot. So you can look up JC Shashelsky on that website, which we can toss up a link for, question mark.
Yes, I will. No, I
Right
was just
here.
about to say, I was going to ask you about that. I will also include a link to Fanbase Press with JC's writings. It's not going to be in the video,
Yeah, you have to say
but
this link and then
this
the,
link
link
right
he does
yeah.
right
Point.
here. I
All
am
right.
not that talented at the editing, y'all.
Here's what
We'll have
you
to bring
guys need.
in searching an editor to help us.
Oh my God, Yin's got to get real good producers now. But first, what Yin's real got to do is get one of them sponsors. I'm looking at you, Pansanat.
He's right, y'all. We need sponsors.
Cereal.
Oh my goodness.
You have merch yet? You need merch.
Any
And merch, yeah.
merch?
Seriously,
That's what,
we'll talk about that later, but yes.
Spoons shirts, speaking in spoons.
Exactly. There's a whole market. And you don't have
Yeah.
to put a dime. We'll talk about that later. By the way, do you like land in Florida? Because I got some to sell.
oh God, I
It's an
cannot.
investment.
I'm gonna have land in Alaska or Canada, anywhere cold, because I cannot regulate my temperature. And so Florida would not work for me.
And yet
It is,
freezing your buns off would?
oh yeah, it's my happy place.
Really? Okay.
You,
Yeah.
you like it.
I have ice caps that I wear for real. They make a great
Cap.
first date. Hey, I look like a Smurf. How are you?
Blue.
I'm an iceberg. Do you love me yet? Yay!
Yeah. Usually the guys I date are like, your place is too cold. I cannot handle this. You're a freak. I have like multiple fans going, ice, like, yeah.
Well, ice crystals and, you know, you got to be comfy. That's what's important. You got to find somebody that you can be comfortable with as well.
Ooh.
I ain't putting on a damn coat.
Find
I want to be cold.
somebody
I'll be
who's
cold.
crazy matches your crazy.
That's a
There
good
you go.
thing to do because everybody's got their own little crazy.
They do.
You just got to
I've not
find
found that
compatible
yet.
crazy.
Seeking
Well,
crazy.
have you tried Hinge? I hear that's popular.
Oh, Tinder.
That
We've tried
advertisement
it all.
kills me. That
He's
advertisement
got a
kills me.
girlfriend in the Philippines.
Ooh.
Me. Oh, I met her
Yeah.
on Cupid.
Actually, I met my girlfriend on OkCupid as well. So
Very adorable.
it works. It does work.
Hmm.
I mean, look at me now. How happy am I?
You look pretty happy.
I'm kidding. No, I'm. For those that didn't see, I shot myself in the head. No, I'm very happy, and I'll say this: like just having the ability to talk to people, like mental health professionals, and like not having to worry about insurance and things like that, because those phone calls, on texting is available, for anybody
Yeah.
that needs help as far as like emotional support. So like, I think it's important for people to know that you're not alone, even if you are. Like,
Oh
just
yeah,
because you don't have a physical presence with you doesn't mean there's not somebody out there waiting to talk to you. Because there is.
absolutely. Yeah, there's absolutely people waiting to talk to you and hear what you have to say and be a support to you. So,
In fact,
because sometimes we all feel alone. Yeah.
everybody feels a little lonely sometimes. And you know what happens when you feel lonely, kids? You put on the Muppets and it makes you feel happy. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Find that rainbow connection.
What's yes, that is my love connection. Animal and Gonzo are my spirit animals.
Would you have any final thoughts before we sign off, JC?
Don't be afraid to try new things. Salmon. It's pretty good.
Salmon
Salmon.
is.
Yeah,
Did
try
you
some.
mention that on the podcast at all or no?
No, well, you just did.
Okay, well, long story short, somebody around my age in their 40s only recently tried salmon in my circle, and they really enjoyed it. So even if you're in your 40s, 50s, Betty White was almost 100. Try something new. Don't be afraid. If you're at a buffet, don't whine about it. If you don't like it, just don't eat it.
There
Life
you
is a
go.
buffet, kids. Take a little bit of everything.
I like that advice. Thank
Yeah.
you, JC.
Well, thank
And
you for
guys,
having
stay
me.
tuned. I just cut you off. I'm so sorry.
Well,
Stay
that's
tuned,
okay.
guys. I did it again.
You did it again, folks. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I'm just getting this in real quick.
We love you, JC. We'll have to
Love
have you back
you.
for a comedy show. And stay tuned. The hosts and I will follow up with a discussion. And thank you, JC.
You're quite welcome. I'm glad I was able to be here.
Hello, welcome to our after party. This time it is me, your host, Christina Brookman, and the lovely Lexi, rocking it out in her sci-fi goggles.
These are awesome goggles. My friend
They
got
are.
them for me, and they block all the light. They're expensive, but God, are they worth it?
God, I need to get me a pair of those.
I mean, I'm serious. I can like go outside now, because they've got like, it burns. So they've got like the side pieces,
Yeah.
the side pieces, and then the side piece on the front. So like it blocks so much light. And because light is necessity for recording, maybe we'll just sponsor us. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God. Merch. No, just kidding. Oh, JC. I love JC. He always
He's amazing.
made me laugh. And so much of what he spoke to, like, I was like, wow, we've been saying and other people have been talking about, it just constantly amazes me how universally identifiable some of these issues are with people, even though we have completely different
Diagnoses.
diagnoses.
Same
Like,
struggle.
yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I was talking about the insurance card back then. Like that was filmed in January. So since then I've had multiple attempts to use it, and you cannot use it for Lyft or Uber like they tell you you can.
Oh yeah.
At all.
And your only rides are for groceries. You can't even go buy clothes.
Oh no, not that. You can't use it at all. It just doesn't work.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I'm not even talking Medicaid rides. I'm talking about this card that you get. And like I've tried to use it with Uber and Lyft, and it flat out doesn't work. I've also tried to use it in the grocery store, and it only works with certain grocery stores. And even then it doesn't work on all the groceries. And like I've called and they're like, well, were you buying healthy foods? And I was like, pretty sure water counts.
Yeah.
Water is pretty healthy.
Not
So
unless you drink a whole gallon of it at once.
okay,
Then, yeah,
that's where I'm doing it wrong.
yeah.
But
Once you get like right on the brink of death with it, that's when you know you're hydrated.
this is not big enough. I drink it all day, multiple times with limits now.
Just to clarify, guys, if you drink a whole gallon at once, you'll die. So don't do that.
There is such a thing as overhydration.
Yeah.
And your kidneys just can't process it. Everything can't. But
Well,
I
like there were stupid people that would hold contests, like restaurants and shit would hold contests, and people died from doing that.
Yeah.
Shit. So yeah, don't do it, guys.
Don't do that.
It was a joke.
But
JC's infected us all with his.
He has. But yeah, you can't use that card on Lyft or Uber, which is really frustrating because and the grocery, you can't use it on Amazon. I was right, because it's anything that is delivered to you can't do. And I'm like, most of these people that need this card are homebound. So why are you denying them access to, like, and
there's
now
no support for homeboundness with a disease with insurance companies. They make it impossible. You can't get the shit you need. You have to have somebody being your fucking chauffeur and driving Daisy. And that is frustrating that you can't get basic fucking supplies. Sorry.
No, it's very dehumanizing. It's frustrating. You feel trapped. Like, I have an aide, right? But because she's with agency, there's no liability coverage, so she's not allowed to drive me anywhere. So I have to use my mom or Lyft or Uber or things like that, and then I can reimburse, like she can get reimbursed for gas coverage.
But how long does that take if it happens at all?
No, actually, that is the one place where this card works.
You asshole. I've been waiting on reimbursements over a year with mine.
This is with the well, that's different. That's Medicaid reimbursements. This is that card that I get through the Medicare, Medicaid dual health. But you can also get it with a certain Medicaid. Do this with their cards. So yeah, I feel you on the reimbursement. It because I've had to do that in the past before, and it's basically insurance is a nightmare. Yeah, and I think of JC, and he has been denied multiple times for disability.
Yeah, how he does it, I don't know.
I don't, and I don't know how long you can be on long-term disability with an employer. Like, that is incredibly lucky that he has that. Because I know, like, I wouldn't have had that, like, because of the kind of jobs that I had, they didn't have that opportunity. And I know a lot of people out there don't have that. So I'm so grateful that he has that. But I don't know how long that lasts. That's scary. That's very scary because he's living with a brain tumor. And people, like, I know Nate was talking about the medications, and you commented, Lexi, you were like, that's not a lot of well, because for us, that's very, like, I think I'm on 13. How many are you on?
Oh God, I don't even count. If I counted like the supplements I'm supposed to be taking, fucking like 30.
Yeah, well, and I can't even take the supplements because I can't afford to buy them.
Yeah, you can't afford to buy them. And then on top of that, like, you know, who wants to take 30 fucking pills a day? Yeah. Like, I'm like, by the time I hit the prescription pills, which is probably maybe like 15, 20.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm done. Like, I might throw a gummy in there, like a gummy vitamin, but that's like some like mood lifting, magnesium boosting one.
Yeah.
Because we love our magnesium. Oh no, it's not magnesium. It's,
are you thinking vitamin D? Magnesium is,
magnesium is what we take for the migraines. Yeah.
In the pots. Yeah.
But I need to do vitamin D too, because you know, don't go outside.
Oh, I'm a vampire.
Oh yeah.
Be real, y'all.
Hold on. I've got the curtain. Oh man, it didn't do it.
You're a ghost.
I was trying to do the vampire, like, rah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's insane to me how like the process they really do count on you giving up for I think Tim said
They
that
want
in
you
the first
dead.
episode.
Like, I've said that the whole time. They want you dead. They want you to give up. They want you to be homeless. They want you to be on the streets if you have no help.
Right. Well, I think they just really want to make sure you need it, but they don't realize how exhausting it. Like a lot of the people that are applying, I'm sure there are people out there applying because they don't like they think they need it, but they don't realize that they don't actually. I know a couple people like that, but because I'm like, you can work. You're doing stuff all the time. You can. There is a job out there that you could do. You know, go to a company like DARS or something, and they'll help you readjust
Find an
your life and
accommodation.
find an accommodation and find something you can do to employ yourself. So like, yes, you're disabled, but you're not federally, you're like, you could work to support yourself. That's different. But there are many of us that can't. And like, I think people confuse welfare with disability. And those are two different things. And I'm not trying to knock welfare. I just think it's far easier to scam welfare and things like that than disability is really damn. And I am granted ignorant on welfare, so somebody school me on that if I'm wrong. But like this, disability is very.
It's not something you can really scam.
No.
Like, because they don't want to give it out at all.
No. No.
At all.
And they don't want to keep, like, I'm supposed to get reevaluated every 3 years.
I get a call, dude. I got approved in what, December?
Yeah.
I had to fucking do my like reapproval in January.
Oh
I was
wow.
like, I just got approved. Like, why am I? This is your yearly, and I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Wow.
But I mean, that's how it's the system, man.
Yeah. But I mean, it is because there are people that get disabled and then there are treatments or things like if let's say JC's brain surgery had quote unquote cured him or something, and he was able to then go back to function and stuff. But no, he is left with part of his brain tumor and also just the trauma and everything that of the previous brain tumor. Like he is now having seizures.
Yeah.
Which is a whole other episode we need to do because seizures are extremely disabling. And like now I know like 2 disabilities that they're associated with, both of which the brain, but like brain tumors and brain injury, So yeah, and it's ironic too that he was talking about the sleep apnea because that kind of parallels back to the brain injury thing as well. But I mean, they're both the brain, but I don't know. I just find the body fascinating.
I would like to say that I missed this episode because I was at the neurologist. So like,
Yes, that was very interesting parallel.
I thought that was funny. I was missing but no, I managed to like make it on in the last like after the recording was on and I got to meet JC. He's amazing. He's like, I love his mentality about it. I love his positivity about it, but yet he's real and making the dark humor jokes that need to happen to get through it. And you can't give up on yourself, like he said.
Yeah.
But
I like that he acknowledges there are times that he is wanted to, because I think that is something that we can all, many people can relate to.
Because one thing he said is like, I remember that it's not as bad as it was the first time. Like whatever's going on is not as bad as that first one. But what if you're in that darkest moment? It's okay to feel that way. Yeah. It's okay to feel hopeless. It's okay, but you just still cannot give up on yourself because you're the only person that's going to make this happen. Yeah. But it's okay to feel that way. It's okay to get discouraged. It's okay to like take some days to like rest and just before you make those doctor's calls.
And
Like,
loved ones, it's okay for your loved ones to be in a dark place. Like,
yeah.
I think a lot of people want to cheer us up all the time or tell us to get over it or remind us of the good things, you know, and they're doing it out of love and support. But sometimes we need to be in that dark place, you know, as part of the
Yeah.
process. We're allowed to be angry, you
We're
know.
allowed to be angry. We're allowed to be mad. We're
Yeah.
allowed to be just depressed about it because it's
Yeah.
a depressing situation. And,
Well, and
you know, being depressed does not mean that you are mentally ill. Like I mean, it is a mental illness, but that doesn't mean that you are fucking mentally ill and just crazy. Like, I know that some people might have families that are like mine. You
Well,
are not what they say.
well, mental health is very taboo in this country in general.
Yeah.
And in many cultures. So I think what you said is really important. And the families, you know, there's a lot of families that don't support you. And even if you have members of your family that support you, you don't have necessarily have the whole family
Yeah.
that supports you.
Everybody's gonna have somebody.
Everybody's got to have,
Whether it's that shady ass friend or that acquaintance or that old boss being a dick.
or that asshole in the parking lot staring you down because you parked in the handicap spot.
Yeah.
When you like can walk, but you're like, you don't know what's going on with me, don't judge.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always somebody. But also, like, it's interesting. I was actually having this conversation with my psychiatrist because I was like, people always put like depression down for me when
But you don't have
I've
that.
never
Like,
had depression.
Yeah,
I've
you have
never had
anxiety.
depression. I have anxiety.
Because
I
it's an
just-
anxious moment when you're going into paralysis.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
is
not just that, but before I
logical.
had that, like I was gonna bring this up, but yeah, it's for me, it's just always been anxiety, but I am a realist about my situation, and I've always been open and honest about my life, maybe sometimes too open and honest to the wrong people, but people are uncomfortable when you speak truth about crap situations. Disability, health makes people uncomfortable. Sickness in general makes people uncomfortable. They don't know what to do with it. And so if you tell your psychiatrist all the reality of your situation, whether or not it makes you depressed, because like I can be honest about the fact that I have a shit life, but that doesn't mean I don't want to get up and do things. It doesn't mean I don't want a better life. It just means I can acknowledge, you know, I'm trapped in the house and I can't do things, and that kind of sucks, you know, but that doesn't make me depressed. It's a different qualifier. So
Yeah,
I
it just
love
makes
that
me more stubborn and want to do it more.
yeah, it does. Yeah. But I love it was very much a validation when my psychiatrist said that, because
Yeah.
it's not that I have anything against depression. It is very important that you are properly diagnosed, you know, and not judged for just telling the truth.
Yeah.
Patients need to be able to speak the truth to their doctors.
Yeah. And when your doctors or your family members are judging you, one thing my therapist said that was really good for me was, why would anyone choose this?
Yeah.
Like, why? Why the fuck would anyone choose this?
This is not the thing to choose.
No. And that
think,
really helped
oh,
me.
you've got disability. You like, it's so great. I'm like, do you have any idea how poor I am? Do you have any idea how much I have to beg for help and support? Now, it's a good thing I have a person, or I've grown a personality where I've become comfortable asking people for help.
Mm-hmm.
But you really have to like grow that callus, like he was talking about, where you become less, you care less about what other people think, which I'm not always good about. And also where you're comfortable just putting yourself out there and saying, I need this, I need your help, which is something I've had to do because there are many things
you don't have a choice.
Yeah, I don't have a choice.
When you can't move, you have to ask for help.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I'm very and when this episode was filmed, we were talking about relationships and stuff, and I was like asking him how he did that and stuff, and saying that I had not found someone yet, and I'm actually in a good place now with someone who also is disabled. And I think that I've talked about before how that is I was scared of something like that, because how can two like, and it does cause problems because it's hard sometimes for us to take care of each other because of that. You know, we're both like crazy poor, so that causes problems. But he understands in a way that people haven't in the past, and doesn't judge me. And it doesn't bother him, and I don't judge him. Like, I get it. And that's very comforting and refreshing. Yeah, it's nice. Nice change.
It is a nice change. It's nice to have some support.
Yeah.
And have somebody that, because like whenever you're just laying there paralyzed for like hours and you don't know when it's going to come out, and
He'll hold my hand.
Yeah, well, I mean, also you're like,
Yeah.
you need help getting to the bathroom. Like,
Yeah.
you need help getting food or something. We're not supposed to be drinking, but like after hours of it, like I'm gonna be sicker later if I don't get some water in me.
Exactly. Yeah. He helped me. I got stuck on the sofa, paralyzed, and I was like, oh God. And I was like, I can't sleep here because the sofa's uncomfortable. And so he helped me get up to the wall so I could lean on the wall, and then helped kind of carry me, lean me into the bedroom and onto the bed.
Yeah.
And,
like I can't tell you how many times I'd be stuck in the bathtub. Like I would have probably ended up drowning or hypothermia from like, not being able to get out of the bathtub because it's just that
scary.
too.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. And I mean, I'm sure with the brain injury, it's terrifying to go through that. I'm shocked that he got taken care of so quick.
Yeah, I know.
And I hate to be this way, but I kind of would be like, it's because you're a dude. But
no,
I feel like there would be a lot of gaslighting.
Harder for him because he's a guy. Because I think like the whole single thing, he was talking about money. Like I think women, there is an expectancy or expectation with a lot of women, like not necessarily the two of us, but with a lot of women, that guys will take you out to dinner, pick you up, or drive you, meet you there, take you home, have money, have a job. Like it makes you look responsible, right? But I mean,
I don't want them knowing where I live and picking me up. No,
there is that. But well, I mean,
sorry,
we're pragmatists.
I've been on enough creepy dates, and I'm like, no, this person does not need to know where I live.
But I mean, once you get to that point, but like if you, I hear a lot of women that are like, oh, they don't have a job, or they don't have this, or they can't take care of themselves, and like
they live at their parents' house because they're disabled, or
and it's like and
well, I mean, like a lot of that is a strike against the traditional, but we're not traditional. We're not traditional because we're disabled. So like,
but we skip that because
the shit weeds itself out pretty much.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Which is great.
It does weed itself out.
The trash takes itself out.
The people that wouldn't stay around when it gets hard, they go. They're gone. But it still is depressing. It can be depressing in that process. But the transportation issue, like he's in Pittsburgh, and I never thought that it would be hard. Like Pittsburgh has incredible transportation, and he is still feeling it. But it is, I remember when I used transportation there, it's very much made for people that are able-bodied. Like, because you have to take one train to another train, like you have to do things, or one bus to another bus. It's very, buses and trains aren't always comfortable for people. They're not always accessible in the way that we need, and like a Lyft or an Uber, like we found is just so much better, unless they're doused in cologne or perfume, and then I get knocked out and paralyzed.
Well, when I took a bus, I was able-bodied at the
Same.
I can't imagine taking a bus now.
Same, yeah.
Because like I remember the hikes to get to the bus stop.
Yeah.
Up massive hills. There's no fucking way I'd even be able to make it to my closest bus stop.
Well, and that's here. That's because we have like no freaking buses.
Yeah.
There's like, if I were in Chicago or things like that when I lived once, there's something every corner. But you couldn't take a train because the trains are up these like
massive steps.
Although I wonder if they have little
They
elevators
probably do.
for
to
wheelchairs
legally.
and stuff.
But you know, how many of them are probably working?
Yeah. It's like when you go to
Or-
the grocery store. Oh, speaking of,
You know what I want in the grocery stores? I want places to have wheelchairs for people. Like, you know, because like, I mean, I use the walker, but sometimes like, you know, you remember that time we went to the grocery store and we had to wait 5 minutes for a fucking buggy for both of us?
Yeah.
We had
And
to
then
go.
they looked at us like, are you
They
guys
followed us
in
around the entire
cart?
time
Yeah.
until I started screaming about like the gel in my hair,
Yeah.
feeling like so I had a sleep study done, and you know how like post after the gel just doesn't come out of your hair. So I just got him to leave us alone by screaming, "This gel feels like cum in my hair," and then they fucking ran off and stopped following us because I embarrassed them just as much as I embarrassed myself. But I have no embarrassment.
Well, you shouldn't, because
you were embarrassed.
I was a little mortified, I'll be quite honest, which is funny because
but it got the result we wanted.
I'm just not
that kind of person.
not out loud in a grocery store.
Nobody was around us except for the fucking manager that was following us around to make sure that we were really disabled. And I was like, fuck you.
Do you want my certificate?
Well, I mean, like, you know, I mean, I literally just came out of a sleep study.
It's like, do we
and you're
need,
still
like, a little
following me
license
around
that says stamped and like notarized officially disabled?
I also didn't sleep that night, so I'm even weirder than normal.
Oh, but yesterday I went to the grocery store, or we went to the grocery store, and he got me the cart so I could write it around. But this particular, you know how for those of you out there that aren't familiar with the carts in the grocery stores, a lot of them, when you get there, aren't charged because people forget to plug them in, or the chargers aren't working and you're like, crap, and you have to find another one, or they're like half charged. But also, even if you manage to get one that is actually charged, they go like really slow and they like pause inside. Okay, so we were in a really nice grocery store, and this grocery store had like raceway scooter, like wheelchair carts. And he's like, be careful with this one, Christina. I tried it. I'm like, whatever, I got this. I know these. I have my wheelchair license, right? Wrong. I start like going through the grocery store. I tried to slow down. He's like in front of me, and in between us is a huge aisle of bread.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to slow down, and instead I sped up, and I kept I couldn't do it. And it like rammed into this thing of bread, and the bread just like fell and flew everywhere. I was mortified. My mom watched it. I found out later she saw what happened and saw like everybody converge onto this giant accident in the grocery aisle, and she's like, just was like, and turned around and left. Like, I don't know that girl. And I was like, dear God. So these like guys just come over and start cleaning it up, and my boyfriend is laughing his ass off, and I was like, you're never gonna let me down. Let me live this down. He's like, no. And they're like, I was like, I'm so sorry, and they're like, it's okay, ma'am, this happens at least twice a day. I'm like, well then don't let the carts be that good.
I don't have that problem. We always go to Food Line, so it's like shitty carts, like,
I
and they're the
know.
ones that, like, they say they're fully charged, and you'll
They
like
never
literally
are.
only get through the produce section before you have to turn it back around because it went from green to red, and you're like, where'd the yellow go?
Yeah. Or
There
have
was
you ever been
no
stuck in
warning.
an aisle and it just stops and you're
Yeah.
like, shit, how do I get back?
Well, then I just try to like hobble to the front so I can get a new one and be like, yo, yours is back there. I can't get it.
Disabled problems.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I also wonder, he talked about how long the brain tumor actually had been there
Yeah.
before he got diagnosed. And I was thinking about that, and I was like, because I had been like, oh, you were like this back in college, and he's like, well, I probably had the brain tumor then. And I know a lot of people will be like with me, oh, it's so sad, you were so healthy and stuff. And I'm like, I was never healthy. I
Never
was just
healthy.
able to mask it better. Like, there's a reason I never went to parties.
Or we were told that it was normal.
Yeah, this is normal. Women don't sweat. How many times have you heard that? Like, and
Oh
so,
no, I'm a pig. I sweat.
well, you have the opposite issue.
Yeah,
Like,
we
I
are
have
completely opposite. I
Yeah.
sweat like a pig. She doesn't sweat at all. I hate the heat. I hate the cold. It makes mine worse. She has to be in fucking like in the Nordic plains for her to be like not migraine.
my boyfriend has named me Alaska. That's my new pet name. That and Puka after a dog that was on Judge Judy. I like Alaska better.
I like Alaska. Puka
Yes.
sounds like
I'm Alaska.
I can't say that. I can't say that.
You can't say that on
I can't
television.
say that on a podcast.
Oh God. But
I was gonna say it sounds like another word for fupa. Fupa. Fupa.
Anyways, but yeah, how many times, like, how many of us
You can
have been sick for years to the point where we finally are like, okay, now I can't work anymore. Like, I kept trying for years.
And that's what's so frustrating is people are like, oh, well, you're applying for SSDI, you're not really disabled. And it's like, do you know how many years I struggled to hold down a job?
Yeah.
And
Like,
I barely did.
DARS literally, I think I talked about it in this episode. They kept rejecting me. I kept going, help me find a job I can actually do. They kept closing my case. I think it was closed twice or three times for being too disabled. The lady actually called my applicant, like the lady who was handling my disability case, and was like, why is she being rejected? This makes no sense. We can't get her a job. But
oh, my wrist just dislocated. Sorry.
It's okay. I saw the pain.
There we go.
Pop it back. Warrior.
There we go. I can do things now. I can make a conversation. Just give me a second.
But I think that's very common. People, the other thing is, I think many people, and Tim was talking about it, kind of opened me up to realizing this, that we're always like, oh, we have so many disorders, right? We have so many conditions. And I'll look at something like, somebody like Nate, I'll be like, oh, he has MS. But then I forget he has all of these things too, that go under the umbrella of MS. Yeah. And I could look at somebody, I'm like, oh, they're paralyzed. But I forget, oh, they have all of these things under their umbrella too. Yeah. Or JC, he's got the brain tumor, but that causes sleep issues, that causes the seizures, it causes the mood disorders that he was saying, so many other things. Like, all of these disabilities, all of these they're not just an isolated condition. They all
like
have their own umbrella.
Like the brain tumors, it all depends on where it is. Same thing with our migraines. Like, you know, if you have it on one side, you're going to have different symptoms than the other side. Like, the brain is so complex. It's so lovely, but it's also such a little fucker.
But all of these, like, I think it's not just disabilities. They're all chronic health conditions.
Yeah, they're all
because it's
spectrum.
all something that and spectrums, like you just said, it's all something we're managing every day, you know.
Yeah.
Whether
we're having a good day and you think we're having a good day, like I know Christina, so whenever I watch the episode, I know she's in excruciating pain and faking through like that smile, not faking because he was hilarious, but it's a struggle to get that smile out, it's a struggle to pay attention. I know the struggle because we got the same thing, but I can recognize it in you like a lot, and I'm sure a lot of other viewers probably, once they get to know you, will be able to be like, oh, this one, she's hurting. You can see mine, like you recognize mine immediately, but like, it's just, you're not going to recognize everybody's pain because some people are just really good at masking it, and it takes,
especially people that have had pain
their whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I because I was at the orthopedist, or had a video with an orthopedist the other day, and he was like, well, your shoulder's great, you have a tear, but it's normal for, at your age, I would expect a tear this size or whatever.
But they don't understand the sensory aspect
Well,
of it.
but his basic thing was like, but do you have anybody for your neck? And he's like, your neck is kind of
I have everyone for my neck,
he
sir.
happened to look at my MRI and CT of my neck, and he's like, yeah, it's not your shoulder causing this pain, it's that neck. And I was like, great. It's always that, it's been that neck. I mean, I had this pain in middle school and high school.
Yeah.
I go to the ER for my neck, and I remember people going, EDS doesn't cause pain, when I finally got the EDS diagnosis. I mean, not the geneticist who gave me the diagnosis, because he's like written the books, but whenever I was back in Richmond and I'd end up in the ER and they're like, EDS doesn't cause pain, I'm like, dude, even Wikipedia says it does.
Yeah.
And Wikipedia is not to be trusted. But
and that pisses me off too, because like, I mean, I've been having like, growing pains since I was 10.
Yeah,
all the way until I was like 25. It's still growing pains.
So stop. Basically, I think the message from this episode and life is, don't ignore people's symptoms. Don't tell them to ignore their symptoms, because I mean,
or tell them to stop taking your medication. Can I just say that here at Speaking in Spoons, we do not endorse you stopping your medication if you need it. I know that maybe some things might have been said because some of us have different mindsets, but we don't, as a podcast, we do not endorse you stopping your medication. Just need to throw that out.
No, not at all.
Okay.
And I think there was a lot of joking too, because obviously
it was a joke.
Don't endorse you snorting your medication. I just want to
clarify.
Yeah, but something people do when they're having trouble swallowing, they will, instead, because water is actually harder to swallow than thicker substances. So that's why they put it in applesauce or like a pudding and have you take it that way, and like break it down in like one pill at a time, or like a half of a pill, and then you add the other half. Like there's ways to do those adaptations, and sometimes they do grind it. Yeah, they will actually grind it and purify, like that you don't snort it, but they'll put it in the applesauce or the pudding and you take it that way. Yeah. So there's many different ways to help you take your medication. You okay, girl?
Yeah, sorry. The nausea.
Yeah. I hear you. We're having a huge storm front here, so Lexi and I are both on the verge of death.
We're faking it.
Fake it till you make it. But I just want to say thank you so much to JC, because he's so funny and he always makes me smile, and I think that is something that is so needed in the disability world, in the whole world, but especially when it comes to medical conditions and being sick. It is easy. This week I went to the dark place. I always say that. I shut my room. I make the room literally dark, and I don't talk. Like, people know when it's bad with me when I stop talking, because I came out of the womb talking. I'm in my most pain physically and mentally when I stop talking.
I mean, we normally talk every day, and I think we've talked maybe like 3 times this week.
I was in the dark place.
Yeah, I know. And the phone calls were like that, and that's not how normally we are. Normally it's
No.
like an hour, and it's like,
But
but you know, we've
sometimes
definitely
you
been
have to
talking.
be in the dark place.
You have to be.
I love that he said that, it's okay. And you say that all the time, Lexi. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be, and you can't just expect people to have their life completely uprooted and changed and taken away and have
And
like
still be positive.
and still be positive. Like
That's
it doesn't
toxic
mean you live,
positivity. That's
like,
not being real about the situation.
yeah, it doesn't mean you live in the dark place, but you're allowed to go to the dark place. And I
You're
think
allowed to
it's
acknowledge it.
necessary to go to the dark place sometimes, because you can't appreciate the light till you have acknowledged the dark,
Also, how
And
are
so
you
many
going to be
people
listening
take
to our
their
podcast if you're not doing the dark place and developing that dark humor that we all have? Just
so then
kidding.
you're turning the podcast off. but the other thing is, I think a lot of people out there, there's that word ableist or able bodies, or they're healthy, take for granted, and I don't see that as a negative thing. It's just it is easy to take for granted the things in your life that you have that might seem so small, but even just financial stability. I'm not talking wealth, just stability to be able to, like, literally pay for your food, have a roof over your head, no matter how big or small, how many people fit in it, to be able to have clothes, entertainment, how many people
To be
go
able
to
to get
movies, do
clothes.
things, like all kinds of things, getting in the car and driving. There's a freedom. I got my chair lift put in last week. And I literally cried because I could go up and down the stairs without injuring myself. Because there are many times I stay upstairs for a whole week because I know that trying to go up or down the stairs, it hurts and I will injure myself.
Yeah.
And I have injured myself. So I'm literally trapped in my bed the whole time upstairs.
And that's maddening.
That is maddening. It's not depressing, it's maddening. The sense of being trapped, and having no control over your life, especially when you're a control freak. I've had to let go of being
there's different bubbles. I mean, even just being trapped inside your house is maddening to a certain degree. Being trapped in your bed or on the couch, like, is maddening.
Very much.
It takes, and each day you've got to figure out what's your level. I mean, like, and
so the acknowledging the dark place, being in the dark place, and then being able to transition to a better place. Like, but it is okay to go there, and it is okay to ask for help. Like, and if you're not comfortable calling someone in your circle, or there are those numbers, like,
hit me up on Facebook. If that's the case, hit me up on Facebook.
Well, and we've had people message us through the website. We get your experiences, message us. But also, I will say we are not licensed psychologists or clinical social workers. So there are those hotlines, out there for you. And it does not make you less of a person or less strong to pick up the phone and call and ask for help.
Yeah.
So, do you have any final thoughts before we say goodbye and go back to the dark caves?
The dark caves sound lovely. I can't wait to get my trash can by the bed. No, it sounds good. Like, I mean, you said everything, but I mean, you got to pull yourself out of the dark place too. Like, you gotta, if you're using the dark humor to get out, then use the dark humor to get out. If you're using whatever you can hold on to, whatever piece of you is left, like whether you can garden or whatnot, or, just do some kind of craft or something, like whatever you can do, like try to hold on and figure out, who you are in this new spot and figure out your new limitations and try to overcome it, because I think that's like the best part about it, and that's going to pull you out more, having those little accomplishments. You have to stop thinking big accomplishments. You have to start thinking little baby accomplishments.
Because
And
those
it's really
little
hard to
accomplishments are
shift.
so huge, though.
I know, but
Really
like it's
are.
just also really frustrating because the whole world expects it, like looks at you and expects you to be making these big ass accomplishments, and you're just going by your own little turtle pace. But turtle paces are good. Turtles are cool.
I like turtles.
Turtle.
Yeah. So we will see you this coming Sunday on Spoony Sunday. We'll see how spoony it is, and save your spoons. We're sending you some extra ones. Bye.
Bye.
If you want to contact us, please send a DM or email to speakinginspoons@gmail.com with any stories you have or would like to interview with us on any of our upcoming topics. And check out our website for all of our upcoming episodes and what's happening in the Speaking Spoons community at www.speakinginspoons.com. Thank you for listening to Speaking in Spoons, and have a great day. If you want to contact us, please send a DM or email to speakinginspoons@gmail.com with any stories you have or would like to interview with us on any of our upcoming topics. And check out our website for all of our upcoming episodes and what's happening in the Speaking Spoons community at www.speakinginspoons.com. Thank you for listening to Speaking in Spoons, and have a great day.